In its latest move to escalate mass deportations, the Trump administration is granting ICE access to the personal data of nearly 79 million Medicaid enrollees, including home addresses and ethnicity details, under a new agreement with the Department of Health and Human Services. A DHS spokesperson tells NBC News this is about ensuring undocumented immigrants don't access Medicaid, even though it's already illegal for undocumented immigrants to receive benefits. Immigration advocates are calling it a dangerous overreach, warning that it turns healthcare records into a tool for surveillance and deportation. It's just the latest example of ICE's increasingly aggressive tactics. In recent weeks, the agency has expanded its reach by demanding landlords turn over leases, rental applications, and ID cards of tenants, preventing detained immigrants from getting bond hearings, and firing immigration judges in order to fast-track deportations. Joining us now, David Bier, Director of Immigration Studies at the Cato Institute. David, welcome back to The Weekend. Let's go back to the beginning. 79 million Medicaid records of Americans now being made available to ICE. Why should the American people be concerned about that?
Well, what the hell is ICE doing with Medicaid information?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are U.S. citizen children, really, who they are targeting. If you look at their U.S. Their birthright citizenship order, it's about stripping U.S. citizens of their U.S. citizenship so they're eligible for deportation. It is setting up a scenario where those enrollees, they're U.S. citizens, not the illegal immigrants aren't enrolling in Medicaid. They're already banned from Medicaid by federal law. There's already a process to verify people's citizenship status before they get Medicaid. So it's not about that. It's about getting the records of these kids who they want to deport. They've gone to the U.S. Supreme Court to try to get permission to deport them and round up entire families, including these American kids, and send them to countries that they've never lived in, ever. Yeah. And that really typifies the Trump administration's mass deportation strategy, which the first stage of it is stripping people of their legal status and U.S. citizenship to open them up to deportation. The second stage is to detain people without a reasonable basis. And then the third stage is to deport without due process. And that's exactly what we've seen with these Alien Enemy Act deportees to Venezuela or to El Salvador and then ultimately to Venezuela, because that is their strategy. They understand they can't follow the Constitution and actually accomplish the goals that they've set out, which is millions and millions of people being rounded up and removed from this country, even if they have not committed any crimes or other offenses in the United States.
Yeah, you know, the government says that the ICE will only have this information Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. They can't download it, and they only have it until September. So that's something that I want to toss that out there.
Analog world.
People, exactly. You know, one of the things that I have been struck with, we may have even talked about it on this show with you, is that we've constantly seen people do what they were supposed to do, give the government information about themselves while they're living here and trying to go through the immigration process. People that are going to the immigration hearing, you know, thinking that, you know, that at some point at the end of that is going to be the promise of some kind of status, right? The judge saying, actually, you're good. Go leave. There's no case here. Those people leaving, there was pictures of someone smiling as they were leaving because she thought she was good to go. And ICE was standing outside the door waiting on her. We have been telling people that if they do what they're supposed to do in this country, you follow the rules, you become an immigrant. You can become an American citizen. Right. You can become a green card holder. Yep. That's not actually the case anymore.
Yeah, look, what the Trump administration is doing, and this really goes to the last stage, right? What I talked about, the deport without due process. Yeah. They don't want people to have their day in court. They don't want people to get a hearing. They don't want people to have the opportunity to prove their case. And so what they're doing is having the judges dismiss these cases and then arresting the people and trying to deport them again without giving them their day in court. That is the strategy. Again, it fits in with the stripping people who already have their status to
And it's not about
protected
criminals.
status or parole. Right. And yeah, and right. It's not about criminals or public safety. They are specifically targeting the people who are following the process, who are signing up to have their names be vetted against anything that we have. They're willing to do anything to achieve legal status in this country. And the Trump administration's response to that is sending them to foreign prisons, is rounding them up and detaining them and deporting them. This is how the Trump administration is carrying out its chaotic and disorderly mass deportation campaign.
And let's have a listen to what California Governor Gavin Newsom had to say about the removal of 2,000 National Guard troops from Los Angeles and the impact that those troops have had on Los Angeles. Watch this.
Talking to members of the community, they feel like democracy is already gone. They feel like authoritarianism's already come to their community. They're not even walking the streets. We were here not just in businesses that are empty. The entire shopping mall's empty. Wrecking the economy, destroying families, destroying generational businesses. That's what's being torn asunder by Donald Trump and Stephen Miller.
And I wanted to play that because that is the natural progression from what David was talking about in terms of the 3 steps that we've seen ICE and the administration go through. David Bier, thank you very much, as always.